Hi everyone. Today we are going to review Zombieland. Just Zombieland. Sorry, I almost said the second title, but yeah, the original Zombieland because I have the second one pulled up. I'm going to watch it right away because I was in the mood for both these movies. So yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the first one, but I forgot how much I actually enjoyed it. This movie was one of my favorites. I don't know if it's definitely in my top 10, I would have to say. I know I have two lists in my head, a top 5 and a top 10. I mean, obviously, because I've had to make that over the years. But yeah, this would definitely be in my top 10. I don't know where it would sit. I'd have to actually, sit down and make a actual list of my top 10 films of all time, because there's a lot of good ones that I've watched, but yeah, there's a few that I have as favorites, and I would say this would be one of them for sure. And the second one was really good as well. I'm glad we got at least a second one. Who knows? Maybe even in. It was kind of awesome that they did it 10 years apart, because it kind of shows the. I feel like they really went for the quality of this film rather than quantities, just trying to push as many sequels as they could out. So maybe in 2029 we'll even get a third one. I think that would be awesome to just kind of continue this movie series on every 10 years, and maybe eventually they find newer, younger people and just kind of pass it down. That would be kind of a cool concept for this movie series for sure. But anyhow, in the first one, we follow the stories of Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock. And Wichita and Little Rock are sisters. So they were basically con women. Con women, would that be right? I don't know. Is that the correct term? I guess. Con girls. How would you? Yeah, I guess con women would be the correct term. Because they're con men. It's so weird. Certain terminologies with certain things, but anyhow, yeah. I believe it said con women in the description, so that's what I'm going to go with. Anyhow, so they obviously were making money by illegal means, even in the before the world became a zombie-infested world. So before the world became Zombieland, they were already doing what they were doing in Zombieland well before it became Zombieland. So Tallahassee and Columbus meet these two girls, and they con them the first time by getting their vehicle, and then they also con them a second time by getting their vehicle. Oh, because yeah, the younger sister says that she's been bitten, and then the older sister says that she'll kill the younger sister, and then they switch it around on them and steal their car, leave them for dead. They do it to them twice, actually. And it's just like, holy, how... Actually, 3 times, really, when you think about it in the entire movie, because they do it once in the beginning, once when they take the Hummer, but I guess they decided to stick together. So then, and then once again, when they leave for Pacific Playland, the two of them, they abandon Tallahassee and Columbus, Ohio, again. Yeah, eventually Columbus falls in love with Wichita, and she does tell him her real name at the end of the film, but I can't remember what it was. Anyhow, Columbus has fears of everything, along with obviously a few health issues, which doesn't make it easy for him to survive in a world filled with the undead. So he's kind of like an unlikely survivor. And his story was, he was a very, I guess the terminology today would be introvert, but a shut-in basically. And he didn't let anybody really into his life, including his own family, who were also, I guess, basically the same as him, and they lived states away from where he was, so I would say that he probably moved out at a very young age to, I guess, get away from that, which he didn't really escape anyway, because he ended up becoming the same person. But anyhow, he lets this girl into his house before Zombieland was a total infestation. And before the whole world was ruled by zombies. He lets her into his house. They fall asleep on the couch. He wakes up and she's obviously a zombie because she's talking about this guy beforehand that came after her and bit her or tried to bite her. Turns out she was bitten, so he ends up having to kill her. which is unfortunate because he said it was the first woman he ever let into his life when she tries to eat him, so he has serious trust issues, obviously. And I mean, probably for good reason, because who wouldn't after a situation like that? The first person, I guess, really, that he let into his life tried to kill him, even though it wasn't intentional, because obviously you lose your whole brain function except for the part that wants you to feed, right? So it's kind of not really her fault entirely, but anyhow, so he makes this list of rules based on that. Rule number 1 is cardio. There's a rule about checking bathrooms, limbering up, double tapping for all zombies so that you don't become their next snack. And I guess kind of the obese people were the first to go, obviously, because cardio plays a factor in that. But I mean, not all obese people are unathletic, or I shouldn't say obese, but not all heavy people are unathletic, because there's lots of people in sports like, I don't know, it seems combat sports are the popular ones for the heavyweights, and some of those guys are big and they can just go for days, it seems, without getting tired, which is, it doesn't seem like they would, but yeah, they can. What else can I say about this movie? Obviously the comedy in this is great, and definitely a star-studded cast. I would say they were probably making their starts here, but Jesse Eisenberg, I don't know what else he had really been in before that. Emma Stone, I'd seen her in a couple things before this movie, I do believe. Abigail Breslin and Woody Harrelson, and it even had a guest appearance by Bill Murray when they were in his mansion, so they got to shoot on a lot of awesome locations, that's for sure. And I think there's even more in the second movie. They actually got to shoot in the, now I don't know whether it's CGI'd or not, but it looks like it might be the actual White House, so that was kind of cool to see in the second movie, which I'm going to watch after I'm done this review. But yeah, it definitely shows that in a post-apocalyptic world, finding people and, I mean, letting them in a little bit at least, having some trust is good as opposed to having none and staying by yourself, because obviously it seems in this kind of world you're not going to be able to survive by yourself unless you've got the proper weaponry, or you live in the West, I guess, because, yeah, Tallahassee was definitely a redneck, and Columbus adds a new rule to his book when he finds out, when Tallahassee says you gotta enjoy the little things, so he adds that as a new rule in his rule of books, or book of rules, sorry. And Tallahassee always talks about this dog throughout the movie named Buck, and then later on in the movie you find out that the zombies actually killed his son and not his dog, which is more understandable as to why he has such a hate for zombies. And the one thing that is his weakness, though, is Twinkies, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't think that would be somebody's weakness, but he's always searching for the last Twinkie on Earth, I guess, is the joke in the movie. And at the end, unfortunately, Columbus shoots the box of Twinkies at Pacific Playland, but luckily Little Rock had one. I don't know where she found it, but she had one with her, so she throws it to Tallahassee at the end, and he definitely enjoyed that moment. Yeah. But yeah, I guess they kind of become a somewhat dysfunctional family in a way, but a family nonetheless. I guess that's the closest thing you're going to get to now, right? Because I guess Columbus is a ghost town now. It's been burned down to the ground, and obviously Columbus's idea was to go back there and find his family. Even though he didn't really have that much of a relationship with him, I guess just a familiar face, like he said in the movie, would have been nice to see. But when he finds that out, he realizes that he just wants to be wherever Wichita is because he's slowly falling in love with her. They almost kiss in Bill Murray's house, and then when she tells him her real name, they obviously kiss at the end of the movie. So I think a relationship starts between the two of them by the time the second movie comes out, I think. And I think they're kind of on the rocks a little bit, maybe. Let me find out what her real name was, because I think it might have been Krista, but I can't really remember. I don't know whether it'll tell me here or not. No, it doesn't. I think she says Krista, but I can't really remember exactly. Or I didn't quite catch it, I guess. Not really remember, but yeah, I didn't quite catch it, so I don't know whether it was Krista or not. It's what it sounded like. I have to go back and watch it again just to catch that, because I think I miss that almost every time I watch this movie. I'm like, oh, what was it that she said? But anyhow, yeah, 10 out of 10 on this movie for sure. It's always enjoyable to go back and watch it, and I hadn't seen this one in quite a while. I don't know if I think I watched it in 2019 before I went to see the second one. But yeah, and if I hadn't, it had been even longer since I've seen it. So, but yeah, it's at least been 2 years since I've seen both films. So yeah, it was nice to go back and watch them again because I was kind of just in the mood for a zombie flick, I guess. So now I'm going to watch the second one. But anyhow, yeah, 10 out of 10 in this film. So please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it. If not, definitely go watch it, and obviously watch the second one, because if you're like me, as soon as you've seen the first one again, or if you've seen it for the first time, you probably want to go see the second one. Unfortunately, the first one is on Netflix, but the second one is not. The second one is on Amazon Prime, so you have to, if you want to see it, you'll have to get both. But Amazon Prime is quite a bit cheaper than Netflix, and I'm finding it really well worth getting so far as being able to kind of go off of my list from Netflix and just view some of these other movies. I will stick with my list, kind of go back and forth just to get some more variety in there so that it doesn't start to feel like so much of a job. It's just kind of enjoying. I'm just kind of enjoying what I'm doing. And I can throw some series in there too. And I will get back to the Big Bang Theory, I do promise. I just don't know when, because right now I have a huge list, and the Big Bang Theory is on it. It's just trying to find the time to sit down and watch a whole series within like a weekend is hard, especially this weekend because I feel like I just slept so much of it away. But anyhow, I'm trying to get as much done as I can today so that I can have some free time tonight to do some gaming and stuff. But anyhow, that's it for this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.